Story number 1. Just wondering if I'm the only one who is really struggling with this stage of parenting a preschooler. This is so exhausting. Give me an infant any day. The constant resistance and backtalk and refusal to do anything asked, like leave the park, library, pool, etc. The high emotions about trivial things. The constant meltdowns when told no. Saying you're not my friend mama when I set a boundary. It's insane and I don't enjoy being a parent right now. It was not like this at all even 6 months ago. What is going on? And don't come at me with gentle parenting. We've been doing it, but at this point the preschool monster is still not going away, so safe to say it's not working the past few months. Story number 2. Okay, sigh. 2 weeks ago, my son and I had went to visit his dad. It did not go good. My son was crying on and off for 6 hours straight. He constantly cried himself to sleep while his dad was holding him. I'm talking snot running down his nose, mucus all in his mouth. He kept reaching for me. He hasn't seen his father face to face in 6 months. The same goes for his aunt, dad's sister, and grandma, dad's mom. Anyways, his dad eventually got upset that he constantly cried and said, "It's 'cause you got another man playing daddy, bro." He passed the baby to me, went upstairs and slammed his room door. I just shook my head. Now I know the reason of why he constantly accuses me of having another man around our son. It's because he had another woman around my son. The reason I am getting this gut feeling is because he constantly asks, "Which one of your male friends is around my son? Or has any of your male friends seen my son?" And when he did see him twice in the month of July, he always wanted the baby to come without me. Now ladies, I am not bitter. I told him that he has the right to move on. We both do. Just as long as we meet the significant other. He kept denying that it would ever happen, blah blah. So, one day on his supposed visits, he comes to get the baby in a different car, a car that I'd never seen before. He uses his sister's SUV from time to time when he did come, but this was a whole sedan. Yes, he came and got the baby, spent some time with him. While the baby's with him, I'm calling to check on him. He keeps sending me to voicemail. When he picks up, he tells me that he's bringing the baby back. I hear a female's voice in the background. I couldn't make out what she was saying. I hear him say, "Hold on bro." Then he hung up and texted me saying he's on his way back. So, he comes back in the never-before-seen sedan, with a little boy in the car, along with my son. He gives me the baby and I ask him who's in the car. He said, "That's his cousin's people." I just said okay. Sketchy. Fast forward to August. I get a video of him admitting that he has a girlfriend. They had gotten into a physical fight. He crashed her car and he could be going to jail. I told him that there was no reason to keep that from me. He gave me some details on the girl because I asked if she was nice. He told me that she was nice. Just crazy. He said that she ripped out 3 of his dreads when they were fighting. I did laugh. Not gonna lie, he even told me that she had a son. I stopped in my tracks and hung up the phone. I texted him and asked if that little boy that I seen in the car that day was her son. He said no, that was his cousin's people's again. I brushed it off once again. Currently I have been pissed off for 2 weeks straight. I kid you not. I even argued with him through text once we got home from our visit, because it's been 6 months since he's physically seen his son. He wants to blame Emmy for the baby not wanting to be held by him. He wants to accuse Emmy of another man playing stepdaddy. I chewed him out for saying that to me. Eventually he just stopped texting and said, "My phone is broke. You're going to have to call me." Oh, so you threw a temper tantrum and threw your phone. Typical behavior coming from him. SMH. He breaks TVs, phones and punches walls. His sister wants to baby him and walk on eggshells when she sees him getting upset. Anyways ladies, I know this is a long ass post. It's just aggravating that he's loud, wrong and all in my business to be an absent father. I'm going with my intuition telling me that he had his ex around our son. Why else would he constantly ask me if I'm doing it? Why else would he give me reassurance that I don't need? I never had a female around him. Like what? Story number 3. I found out I was pregnant at 2 weeks. Had been seeing baby daddy for about 3 and 1/2 months, but he'd been pulling stupid stuff in recent weeks. E.g. got arrested for driving car with a suspended license and insurance under fake name. Then when I told him I was pregnant, he said, "I'll support whatever decision you make." And then our relationship just got worse than before. He'd be silent and grumpy all the time, treat me badly and not even notice or care. He told me a few months prior he wanted to go to location for Halloween, so I got us tickets, and to the extra things cost me about 180 British pounds not including fuel. I obviously had to drive us the 2 hours or so there and back. He didn't smile at all and just was quiet and grumpy the whole time, including the car journey. Being pregnant, I couldn't go on most of the stuff, but he was like, oh, the activities will be fine, even though they said no pregnant women, and made me go with him. Then he made me wait in line with him for an hour in the pouring rain when I was tired, nauseous, and my back killing because he couldn't wait in line for a roller coaster alone, along with a few other things he did on that occasion and others where he behaved similarly self-centeredly. So I decided to end the relationship and see if he wanted to be involved with the kid. During this conversation he said he'd have preferred I'd gotten an abortion when I found out I was pregnant, that he didn't want to be a father, and that he wanted to pursue his dreams of starting a business. He said he'd support financially a bit if he could. I said that's fine, I'm happy to do this alone. I've got loads of family and friends who will support and love this kid. For the next couple days he's still messaging me, basically wanting validation that he's okay to go do whatever the blank he wants, but if I could send him a pic of my ultrasound as his mom wants to see it, and I told him that's fine and to leave me be. So I sent him the pic the next day, and a few hours later he says he's 100% made a mistake, that he loves me, never said this before, and baby, and wants to marry me and be a full-time parent, and so on and so forth. I asked him to leave me alone, that we could figure out how he'll fit into baby's life, but he's no longer a part of mine. He proceeded to message me on multiple platforms, call me and send me voice messages for the next month, to which I either ignored or said, please stop, I've asked you to leave me alone, and he'd respond he's not going to give up. Just before Christmas I sent a long message saying I don't love him, don't want to marry him, and whether he changes or not my feelings never will. I don't want to be with him, and can he please leave me alone, he's making me uncomfortable and stressed. He said that was never his intention, that he wants us to be a family and all that crap, and that he'd leave me be for now. Then on my birthday yesterday he messages me again. What do I do? He keeps telling me that it's traumatic for a kid to be raised in a single-parent family because he's had that, but in reality his parents were terrible and just didn't care about him. I think his views have no reflection on the reality of my soon-to-be new child's life, but I'm just constantly stressed he's going to turn up at my house or something. Feeling really harassed. Story number 4. Hello. My name is A. I need support and a community. I am suffering and traumatized. I was dating someone who lied to me for 1 year and 4 months. I'm 18 weeks pregnant, and on the morning of Christmas Eve at the breakfast table with his family, the ex-girlfriend of this person sent me screenshots of conversations and camera photos of them together 2 nights before. We were about to leave to the airport to go with my family to Colorado for Christmas and New Year's, when I pulled him aside. He said he did something very bad and that he had an affair with this lady. He was never going to tell me anything, hugging and kissing me like nothing, treating me like I'm entirely replaceable the entire relationship, but he said everything right and knew how to show physical affection. He was going to go on this trip completely normal. I cried in his arms in his bed only a couple nights prior because I was scared of being abandoned and was asking him to take care of me and the baby. I am completely devastated. This lady knew I was pregnant and used all of that information and everything he told her to not only throw this in my face but continue with telling me he never loved me and always wanted her. This disgusting man had the audacity to tell me it was just physical, that I'm the only person he wants to be with and will wait as long as he needs to. I really need some friends. I feel sick. I did everything I could to be the best partner and girlfriend. Made sure to respect him and be loyal. I was used. Story number 5. Just need some advice and support. I'm 18 weeks pregnant and I am in a long-distance relationship until January with my boyfriend. He's recently gone traveling and his communication has sucked. I'm alone and pregnant, and he's saying that he can't communicate with me as much because it makes him claustrophobic. All we have is communication. I understand that there is a time difference. He just got back from 2 weeks of no Wi-Fi and didn't want to pay for it. Last night, he went out with people from his trip because it was their last night and decided to put them first instead of reconnecting with me and this baby. He's meant to come to see me for 2 weeks and is now saying he's not. He's saying he wants space and that when I move back home that we should revisit us. I just need advice on how to move forward and what I should do, as I'm truly alone in this.